Power move to help you take the actions that you need to take to get the results you'd like to see and break out of limiting patterns of self-sabotaging behavior. I'm going to break down all 7 types of self-sabotage, how you can identify where your awareness is going so that you can change where your energy is flowing and get different results. And if you haven't seen me before, my name is Aaron, and I work with conscious entrepreneurs and awakening individuals to master our energy so that we can break out of limiting cycles and create lives that we love. So what is self-sabotage, and how do you know if you're self-sabotaging yourself? This is what self-sabotage looks like. Imagine that we've got Jack, and Jack ends up feeling like he has no energy. He's got this big field of energy, but he has no energy. So let's look at what Jack is doing and see why he has no energy. This is Jack's field of awareness. He is aware that he avoids taking the actions that he knows will get him the results. He keeps doing this all the time, even though it keeps him stuck in the same cycle. But what else does Jack do with his energy? Sometimes he will accomplish something quite productive. He'll be very productive, but the thing that he focuses his productivity on is not something that actually gets results. He chooses to focus on something that doesn't get results, giving him a false sense of accomplishment and productivity that doesn't bring any tangible changes. Another thing that Jack will do, he'll find meaningful things to do that are usually the result of something that he feels he needs to react to. So he will react to something, creating a meaningful action, something he needs to go do because of something that has happened. And it feels like it's meaningful. It feels like it's something he needs to do. It feels like it's going to accomplish something productive. And yet it still isn't focused toward his actual goal. Jack will also take these 2 things and he will create distractions. And he'll focus on these distractions, giving him something to focus on. So he feels like he's focusing. He feels like he's being productive. He feels like he's accomplishing things. He feels like he's doing something meaningful. But all of that energy is actually focusing on a distraction, creating the illusion that he's not self-sabotaging, when in reality, he's completely focused in the wrong place. Is any of this feeling familiar yet? Because we're going to look at the next 3 self-sabotage patterns that are some of the hardest to identify. Combining these 4 self-sabotage patterns, Jack will create one that is very justifiable. And I call this the justified logical. His reason for focusing on this is logical. His reason for doing it is meaningful. Everything is absolutely justified, and there's a lot of logical sense that goes into this decision to focus elsewhere, making it very hard to actually progress through because there's a lot of reasons why, and the reasons why are very logical. And so Jack will stick to doing things that don't actually get results simply because it's logical. It just makes so much sense to him that he'll continue doing it no matter what. And when this doesn't get results, Jack becomes fearful because everything he tries doesn't work. And he's either afraid of positive or negative outcomes. It doesn't matter because even the positive outcomes don't actually bring about his desired results. I call this the paralyzation. It's absolutely paralyzing for Jack, and he becomes fearful about doing anything else. So at this point, he often just does nothing and scrolls on his phone instead. And this brings about the final and most powerful self-sabotage that I call the powerful external. This manifests in Jack's reality as powerful external events that stop him from moving forward, obliterate all of his plans, completely canceling out all of this hard work. It all resets, and he's back at the beginning with no energy. And he's aware that this cycle keeps repeating and repeating. So eventually he ends up simply doing nothing. There is something that Jack could do to shift this whole pattern. And that would be to invoke the power move of simply knowing himself. Because when you know yourself, these things won't distract you. If you know what kinds of things distract you and get you to put your focus in the wrong places, you'll be able to spot it coming and stay on track. If you know the things that make you reactive, that get you to attach meaning to them, even when they aren't related to your goals, you'll be able to stay on track. If you know the way your mind works and how you logically justify putting energy into the things that actually aren't going to bring about results, then you'll be able to stay on track. And if you know what creates paralyzing fear and just makes you stop, then you'll be able to stay focused on things that keep you in a flow state moving forward. And if you understand that the external impacts that keep pushing you back so powerfully are a manifestation of all of this, you'll be able to stay on track even when things get a little challenging. If you understand how you misappropriate productivity and accomplishments of the wrong things to feel accomplished while simply avoiding doing what you need to do, you'll be able to stay on track. But all of this requires you to be aware, self-aware of where you are avoiding. Now, the real question is, why do we avoid creating what is good for us and end up in a place with no energy where we do nothing? The real reason that Jack does all of this and that he can't get to results, he can't get to the results because deep down, Jack has an anchor in his subconscious mind that tells him he is not good enough. So when Jack feels not good enough, he will avoid taking actions that will bring him to results. He will focus on other things. He will justify it with logic. He'll end up in paralyzing fear. External events will stop him. He'll repeat the cycle by going back to do more things to create a false sense of accomplishment. All of it avoiding what's down here, the feeling of not being good enough or not being worthy. And this keeps Jack in a perpetual cycle where he doesn't know himself, he doesn't know what's going on, and the loop continues. Now, if this is a cycle that describes you, I understand, because Jack is actually me. That was me a couple of years ago when I was in a perpetual cycle of self-sabotage. Everything kept knocking me back. But I figured out a process through a series of very challenging and trying events that allowed me to distill these 7 core self-sabotages and exactly why they occur and how to overcome the root anchor down here that creates the feeling of not being good enough, that manifests as this avoidant cycle of self-sabotage. I'm going to be unpacking exactly how you can put that practice in place for yourself, diving deep into your own subconscious mind to understand the systems of your consciousness that create this cycle, where they came from, and how to integrate them so that you can take a quantum shift and start focusing your actions and your energy into creating a life you love, building results for yourself in your business, your relationships, your careers, and everything around you, enhancing your spirituality and your mastery of energetics, the chakra system, and manifesting great results all over the place. I'll see you there. You can get into the class right up here in my bio or tap right down here, and I'll see you on the flip side of your next quantum shift.